And if New York's
So does
closed
the
off to you, go to Chicago, Second City. If Second City's closed off to you, go to the Groundlings in LA, where Will Ferrell came from. If you don't know what the word Groundlings is,
Read a book.
then you got some homework to do.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
it's
just like
on you.
there's probably 20
Austin.
comedians
It's a
that
road,
came
yeah.
to DC, Baltimore area this weekend
Yeah.
from New York and
Yeah.
Atlanta to do gigs
Right.
at corporate events.
Yeah, exactly. Right here, there are more associations in this DMV area. 90% of the world's associations are right here. These embassies have parties. Everybody has fucking holiday parties. I happen to meet a guy walking on the street. He's like, we're talking comedy, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, damn, he happens to be the DC transportation guy. Call me, we're having a party. Oh, really? Okay. So you do this shit and then keep it to yourself.
I agree.
Do shit that don't nobody else happen to get to do because it gives you the experience. That way when you wind up at a riot act one night, you know you killed.
Right.
It ain't even a guesstimation. I've done this already, but nobody knows. That's how you keep the element of surprise in a world where nobody can be surprised.
You keep the secret from the masses,
Yeah.
but you let people who run rooms and promoters and shit. People
No, you don't let them know shit either,
Why?
because they don't need to.
Because they don't need to.
If you did a gig for somebody at a corporation, they don't need to know anything about that. They don't need to, why? Because now they're going to say, you got money already. Now that takes away from who the fuck you could be in their room. You still want to be a star. You know what I mean? But you got to eat, right?
Amen.
So I'm not going to tell my boss over here that I'm making money over here, doing the same thing I do over here.
I disagree. I mean, if you're trying to do something and somebody looks and they see that you got this date booked and this date booked and this date
Didn't
booked,
say
they're
book.
saying,
I said
this guy's
job.
popular.
No. I didn't say anything
I'm
about
talking
book.
about backlog too. I mean, stuff that you've got on there that's for the
Like
past 3 years.
No,
You got
I hear what
just
you're saying.
date after date after date. They're going, this guy's popular. I want him. You know what? I can't do that.
But like
The point is,
One second. You like politics, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is talking politics. We know for a fact that politicians never tell us how they came up with the idea.
Right.
They tell us the idea and then expect us to go for it. That's all I'm saying.
But what I'm saying
That's
is,
what I'm saying. Never let them. You have to. When I say in this day and age, you have to. They don't. It's like wow, who the fuck is this person? How did they get that good and I did not know it? You dig what I'm saying?
But that's what that list tells you. I mean, when you look at somebody
But
that's
it's
booked
just a
on a
list. And
regular
if somebody
basis,
running down a list, we know people who run down lists that doesn't matter. We can run down a list. But I haven't seen you do it. And all I hear from these promoters and these bookers and these rooms.
Well, you were saying that earlier.
I need to see
you have a
do it.
YouTube video.
So you might not, but you might not be able to get a YouTube video for something you do at the Bohemian Grove. I'm being serious like that because it's like, yo, they don't want everybody to know who came into this gig. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that, like, let's say it's off the books.
Well, you don't need 10
but it's
YouTube
on the
videos, you
books.
need
But
one.
but it's just when I say it's just corporate gigs, it's just like you might do something for DC Transportation. You might do something for DC Arts Communities. You might do something for Brightest Young Things, and it's done and it's in the can and it'll come out when it needs to because whoever was there, who was the publicist for it,
Right.
will also remember. Hey, that cat did this. Let them know. Your job is to just get good enough to perform that night at these clubs and be dumb enough to be a comic.
Exactly.
Because they don't want to know you're smart enough
Yeah, they can't
to
know
do
that you're
their
smart.
job.
I totally
because
agree.
then they don't need you in their comedy club fucking with the other comics.
I totally agree.
Telling them that I don't need this room. You can go run a fucking warehouse and people will find you.
And like,
This
that's almost the
Field of Dreams.
Yep.
If you build it, they will come.
It's
So you have
almost-
to build and act under their fucking noses. You have to do everything out of sight. You have to learn comedy. They're not going to let you on stage to learn comedy. Then no one is going to pay to see you go through the motions.
I think you're talking about different stages of life there.
You know what I mean?
I'm agreeing
But
now.
Tony was somebody who you know his name, you have no idea of his resume. No idea. It just happens that a video floats out of him in Belgium.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's all I'm saying. But now, you have somebody standing in the back filming yourself to release that at the right time. You understand what I'm saying? You just don't want them to know you're smart enough to book yourself.